Yo, my people, welcome back to the channel. First things first, like, subscribe. Subscribe, like, it's easy to do. It won't even take you off the page. Make sure you do both of those things right now, people. Execute it. In, out, we're back. Like and subscribe, and let's keep it moving. It's not Ornstein, it's not Romano. It is breaking news. It's the Premier League fixtures for the 25-26 season. And I'm not going to lie, it's not often I really have much to say about fixture scheduling and when the announcement comes around this time every single year. Reason being because there's always still work to do in the transfer window to really get a gist of how you are feeling heading into game week 1 and heading into game week 4 after the transfer deadline day ends and all of that. um Sometimes I look and say, oof, tasty month, difficult month. Sometimes I look and say that's a point building month. That's a nice little run there. Um, but really, the announcement comes so early on in the transfer window that we still must wait. One thing about this announcement is the tasty month is the first month, the first 6 game weeks. You look at the fixtures and you look at the difficulty and you think, oof, a lot of people are saying, have we been done over? I never look at it like that. We have to play every team home and away throughout the season, regardless of where they come and when they come. In fact, I'm looking at this fixture list and the way it's planned out for us, and I'm quite happy about it. And again, it's not often I say that. I'm neither happy or sad about fixture announcements. But this one, I think you look at it, or I look at it, and I say the difficult start coming into year 5, year 6 shouldn't, you know, worry us too much, right? And I say that a bit tongue in cheek because at this moment in time in the transfer window, we're looking at the competition for next season, and they've already signed players and strengthened their teams from the positions they ended the season in, whereas we are still at a stalemate in terms of new recruits and even players exiting the club. It's quite muted at the moment. Everything's advancing, nothing's progressing. Don't know how that works, but that's the Arsenal way in the transfer window more often than not. So that difficult start, again, I understand the worry about it, but I'm excited about it because it tests us straight away, off the cuff, and there's no excuses once more. I cast my mind back to January, delicious window. I mentioned it how many times? You could eat for weeks, months from that window. We chose not to eat. PSG chose to eat. Aston Villa chose to eat. One got something out of it. One, tailed off at the end of it. So, going to eat doesn't necessarily mean you're going to be full come May, but you need to go try and eat. We didn't try and eat. And sorry, people, it's very early. I'm even getting hungry now. I haven't had breakfast yet, but we had to eat in January and we didn't. And the window was there and the evidence was there come the end of that window, deadline day, February 3rd, whenever it was, that there could have been business done, whether it's a purchase of a quality player, whether it's a loan of a player that improves the quality of the side. There was business to be done. And I think it exposed what the ownership and the club are really about. And that is, there's a certain level that once attained, there is no real ambition to go up from that level, which is the level, the important one for the players, for the fans, and the club's history and heritage. So yeah, I look at the fixtures and I think, all right, difficult start, but what are the club going to do about it? Are the club going to be ready? A lot of people mention not to panic, and I'm not panicking. When I do videos and I question and I get heated about a lack of activity, it's because it's a very familiar feeling. The transfer window's gone past many a time in the Emirates era. I always maintain there's one window in the Emirates era, one summer window, where I looked at it and I thought, you know what, we've gone for what we need and we've got them in, regardless of if I'm happy with some of the names or not. It's time to move and win this Premier League, and that was the Rice and Havertz summer. There's probably only been one January as well, and that's the Aubameyang January in the Emirates era. Not good enough. So that very familiar feeling just comes back, and PTSD, it haunts you. Sitting on the shoulder, whispering, we've been there, we've seen this, we know how it ends. But now that fixture list is out, 17th of August, I believe, 18th of August. in and around those dates. It's now the 18th of June. So we're just 2 months away from the Premier League starting, and starting with caps lock on for us. Man United, Liverpool, Newcastle, all away in the first 6 fixtures. Never mind Nottingham Forest and Manchester City at the Emirates. Leeds as well, but in the big scheme of things, you're looking at that one and saying that is the guaranteed banker, and it better be. But you look at those first 6 fixtures, and as much as people worry, and as much as people might look at it and say, oh, our season could end before it starts. Our season could start better than we could ever expect it if we get the necessary results we need out of those games. And in order to get the necessary results, we need to sign players. We go to Singapore around July 18th, I'd assume, considering the first game out there is on the 23rd. The flight's a long flight. So we're just under a month away from the tour. And you need these players on the tour at the very least, because the tour gives them 3 games and then one maybe when we come back, the Emirates Cup. 4 games, enough preseason. First game, week 1, big game, United, Old Trafford. Clean selection. Do what you need to do what we need to do. So the club really need to start getting it moving. Those 6 fixtures, I mean, let's break it up into segments. When you look at August, it's Man United away, Leeds home, Liverpool away. Listen, our records against United over the years has been a very strong one. Maybe not Old Trafford in terms of wins, but last couple of years we've been doing our thing. And Man United, disarray to end the season. I look at their window so far, and it seems messy at this moment in time. Listen, there's still a long time to go before the season starts, but I'd expect 3 points. I'd expect 3 points from Leeds. And the Liverpool game, it's hard to expect anything. But when you look at our record, I think we've drawn the last 4 games, all competitions at Anfield. I think the last time they beat us there was 2021, I want to say. 21? Yeah, I think it was 2021. 21-22 season anyway. So I'm looking at August and I'm saying 7 points is, should be the minimum expectation for us going into year 6 after back-to-back second place finishes, regardless of the teams we're about to face. I think the benchmark there is 7 points, and then you go into September. Well, there's an international break in between, but Nottingham Forest home, Man City home, Newcastle away. 3 difficult fixtures again. But again, I look at Forest and I say 3 points. I look at City and I say the context leads me to say 3 points. But the reality, I don't think it's going to be as easy as that, in my opinion. They're in a transition right now, right? They, regardless of the quality they have and the manager that's in place now, and the expectation, in my opinion, that they fight for a title, if not win the title. Again, Pep's never gone 2 years in a row without a title since he's been a manager. So, um, all the things considered there, it's hard to say outright win. But when you consider that we finished above them last season, albeit by a few points, and you look at the amount of signings they've had to make, and the transition they're going to have to go through, and probably some of that transition comes in competitive games to start the season, including our one, we should be getting the 3 points. So three, and then Newcastle away. I mean, that's another one where it's hard to expect 3 points. It's hard to expect 3 points. So again, I'm looking at September and I'm saying 7 points is the minimum expectation, in my opinion. And this is, off of nothing so far in the window. But regardless of what happens in the window, that should be the expectation for both months, for those 6 fixtures. 14 points in total, 7 in August, 7 in September. And listen, the minimum expectation doesn't always get hit. It doesn't always have to get hit to end up with a title come May. But if you aim for 7 to 9 and you end up with 5, it's manageable. Manageable. But let's not look at those first 6 fixtures and um think it's end of days for Arsenal. It's a big test. It's a necessary test. This ain't Emery's first year where we had Man City and Chelsea, I think, to open up game week 1 and game week 2. That one I looked at and I said, that's harsh. That is difficult. manager first season, off the back of a manager that's been there however many years, 20 plus, that's a difficult start. The context is very different here. Three second place finishes should lead us to expect more, not worry as much as we did 5 years ago, as I mentioned with Emery. So I look at the first six fixtures and I'm excited. I'm excited. We've just got to make sure that we go into that season as strong as possible. As strong as possible. Not September 1st, by August 16th. We need to make sure, Arsenal need to make sure we go into the season ready, fit, firing, no excuses, because those first six games, as much as people think it can break us, and it can also make us for next season. We can't do nothing about it. That's up to Arsenal. They need to make sure, the necessary people need to make sure we go into the season as strong as possible. But something we can make sure is we can go into the season as protected as possible. Proton VPN. Make sure you scan the QR code, people. Heading into the new season, they're still showing me love. They're still showing us love. You're still showing them love. So if you need a VPN, scan the QR code right now, people. It's there, bottom right, bottom left, however you're looking at it now. Obviously, I'm looking at inverted this, inverted that. But make sure you scan the QR code, because they can protect your data, they can protect your privacy, they can protect your security. How? Bang on a VPN, put your location somewhere else. It not only protects you, but it can also open up a whole world of streaming across platforms like Netflix, Apple, Amazon Prime, Paramount, all of these streaming platforms that a lot of us are subscribed to. You bang a VPN on, you get America's version. You bang a VPN, you get South Africa's version. I've heard about Kings of Joburg. I need to hit that one up real soon. So I'm going to be banging on Proton VPN to catch that on Netflix. It's not available over here, but that's where Proton helps, protects you, and opens up a whole new world. Make sure you show them some love, people. Scan the QR code, hit the link in the description, do either or, and make sure you're protected going into next season. Like Arsenal need to make sure they're strong going into next season. And right now, we're at least 4 players off being strong. 4 players off being strong. So yeah, the six fixtures, I think that's all I really need to delve into. I look at the rest of the season and I think, as much as it's a hectic start, October is a month we don't leave London. So that's the pit stop. Not easy games. West Ham, Fulham away, Crystal Palace. But it's all in London, not much traveling. It's the calm after the storm, right? It's the calm after the storm, because we start the season, you know, in potentially stormy fashion. And we need that calm in October, because November, December, January heats up, fixtures thick and fast. Carabao Cup into play, Champions League in full motion, Premier League leading up to that hectic Christmas schedule. So I think when I look overall at the season as well, hard start aside, it goes into a calm period, it heats up again. And even when it heats up, I look across the December and January schedule and I think there's a lot of points to be had here. There's favorable runs, in my opinion. Now, obviously, there's going to be surprise packages this season. Who thought Forest would be as consistent as they was for the majority of last season, before last season? So I know there'll be surprises in there. We've got Brentford in December, for example. How will they be off the back of an Mbomo sale if he does go, which is looking very much likely? Aston Villa are there. How do they do after their unfortunate end to the season just gone? Wolves, Everton, Brighton, Villa again. Villa back to back essentially in 1 month, home and away. So I look at December, I look at January, Liverpool without Salah, AFCON. That'll be at the Emirates. I look at this season in general, May, all in London again, Fulham, West Ham, Burnley, and Palace to end the season. That's looking too far as it stands. I don't think we can look past the first 3 fixtures, let alone the first 6. I think the first 3, and then we move on to the next 3 after hopefully doing what we should be doing, and that's getting 7 points minimum out of those 3. Am I being harsh? Let me know. I don't think so. Like I said, if it was someone's first season, if it was Emery's first season, then I'd be like, yeah, we're gonna have to ride this storm. It could get messy, gonna get wet, but there's drier days and nights ahead. Um, with this one here, I'm licking my lips. Somewhat delicious. Because, like I said, January, there was nowhere to hide for the club and the people in charge. This summer, there's nowhere to hide for the club and the people in charge. Now, going into next season, there ain't nowhere to hide. We should have a fully fit squad come game week 1. We should have a healthy squad with quality additions in game week 1. We should have goosebumps going into game week 1. That's what I was told. So the bumps got to start goosing because they ain't yet. And I can only hope they do, because that'll mean that we are ready for the season. That'll mean that those first 6 fixtures I'm more excited about come August the 15th, 16th. But if we don't, then I've seen it all before. I've seen it all before. You know, I can't help but think, Mikel Arteta actually came into the club as a player off the back of this club going into that season, not prepared, not ready, not checked in, and losing 8-2 to Manchester United. So when people hear me speak of Mikel and people think I'm being harsh, this ain't all about Mikel. This is about the ownership. The nonsense predates Mikel's era, you know. But the more he comes out and tries to make sense of the nonsense, like Wenger, the more, that nonsense is attributed to him because it's coming out of his mouth. So he's going to have goosebumps thinking about next season. I'm looking at that first 6 fixtures and I'm thinking if we're ready, goosebumps. But let's see. That's up to the club people. Hit the like button. Make sure you're subscribed. Obviously, ProtonVPN, you know what to do. QR code on the screen. Click the link in the description. They'll protect you. I've banged on about them already, but you should know already. If you need a VPN, which everyone does, get ProtonVPN, people. Love for the love. I'll be back when I'm back. Hopefully, there's news to break real soon because we're a month away from tour and we're a couple months away from game week 1, Manchester United, to kick off 6 game weeks that can really define our season early on. We will be there. We will be there. Love for the love. I'm out. Peace.